What's going on, everyone? Welcome. We're very grateful to have you back. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and if you ever find any value from this video, please be sure to share with your friends, family, and whoever might else take this value from this video. So today we want to cover how to buy your first house. But before we get into that, we just kind of want to talk about our week like we did the last couple of videos. So Rob, my boy, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. It's been a good week.
Hold on, fuck you, bro. Fuck you.
Hey, we started with you last time.
We started with you last time. We can go with Jonathan first. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I got me. Go ahead. I guess let's grab or some shit. At least for me, this week, just like I said, I think last week I said that I was basically done with school, so I'm obviously still done with school. I graduate this Sunday, so I'm excited to be done with that. There's been some things being thrown at me, but hey, it's just life. But besides that, I'm just grateful that I'm still here.
Chilling, bro. Chilling.
It's good. Me? I guess so. So, I mean, everything's been good. Life's been chilling. It was the end of the month. End of the month is usually the busiest. But I went to the Springs this weekend. I went and saw a movie this weekend.
When'd you go, bro?
On Sunday I went.
Yo, it was so hot Sunday, bro.
It was perfect
day.
Yo, we went out there. We drove an hour and a half. Bro, I've never been to the Springs before, okay? So don't judge me. Yeah, this is my first time. We drove to Silver Springs. It's the only spring in Central Florida that you cannot swim in. And it was hot as shit outside.
Goofed.
I guess it's protected by the state. It was beautiful though.
Bro, but there's like, is there not like a couple springs right next door?
No. I mean, Wekiva was a little bit further south, and Rainbow Spring was kind of closed. But
Rainbow Spring, I've been to Rainbow.
We was already there, and then we got on like one of these glass boats where it's like a glass bottom, and you drive over the drive. You be floating over the water, and then they show you the springs and stuff like that. We saw a gator and shit. It was real nice.
It's drive, right? You
drive? I don't know.
You steer the boat. The only thing a boat can do is drive. You know.
Wait, so you saw like a gator under you though?
No, not under us. He was next to us though.
That would have been cool as shit, though.
Right? But just chilling right underneath us.
That's crazy. Sunday was so hot. We were supposed to go to Springs, but that's crazy as fuck.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
What about you?
Man, I'm just chilling, man. Just gotta rep my Heat. You know how I'm locked into the playoffs right now. Man, the Heat been doing good, so that's how my weeks have been going. But everything good.
Good.
But so without further ado, let's just get into it, man. To get your first house, it's important for you to really, I think, first of all, I know a lot of people always come to realtors first because they want to buy a house. But I think really first, before anything, is to find yourself a good loan officer. Luckily, we have a good loan officer in the building who will be able to kind of guide you guys through that. So, Robert, what do you think is the first thing that someone should do when it's time for them to think about buying a house?
I think some of the first things you should consider and do are really do some research on your loan officers. Like try to find someone who you trust or that has good reviews in your community. I wouldn't go outside of your community. Try to keep it local if possible. It helps your community, and there's always great people around you that are willing to help you get into a home. Mm-hmm. And the reason that I find that really important is because your loan officer is the person who's helping you financially understand your financial goals with buying a house, as well as what it's going to take for you to buy that house. Right. They're there to help and guide you throughout the process, as well as then interpret what you're trying to do and get you approved for the loan. So first and foremost is if you're serious about buying a house, find a good loan officer.
And make sure, sorry to interrupt you, but make sure that they make you feel comfortable too, because in this process, like in the home buying process, you have to disclose information and it's needed, and just feel comfortable with who you're talking to. So that way you don't feel like you need to guard up or anything like that. Yeah,
you should never feel like you have your guard up against your loan officer. Like your loan officer is there to help you and guide you, not belittle you for the things that you're doing with your financial and not make you feel like you have to hide anything from them. So be upfront with them. Make sure that you can be upfront with them and vet them in that way. Like you're finding someone who can do a service for you. Don't feel like the first person you meet is you have to go with. Like really try to find someone who's genuine and willing to help you, and that you can see has that knowledge in the business that they can help you do something when someone else can't. Because I can't count the amount of times I get calls from people, like random leads, where a previous loan officer or another company couldn't get them approved for a mortgage and told them just no type of thing. Mm-hmm. And then they come to me and it's like, well, I mean, it takes me like an extra day maybe to review everything in like really detailed. And then I'll find you a solution. If I can't find you a solution, of course I'm going to tell you, but I'm also going to tell you why you can't find a solution. I'm not just going to tell you no. Like I'm going to give you valid reasons as to why. and then how you can improve on that. And that kind of leads into the next part of you really need to make sure your employment is as steady as possible, that your taxes, if you're self-employed, are completed for your previous year, and that you have those documents available. If not, your W-2s and pay stubs all available, and monitor your credit. Credit does play a really big factor in getting a home, especially your first home. So having a higher credit score will help you qualify for a better rate, maybe a better program, or a program that, because there's plenty of programs out there that you can't qualify for if you don't have that better rate,
Good credit,
right? Or that better credit score. Yeah. So having a decent credit score, it doesn't have to be fantastic, right? 580 is the minimum. So as long as you have above that, you should be able to get into something. But really having a 680 plus is like
I think
perfect.
Having 680 plus gives you the best options for you to actually get the best terms and rates and stuff like that. And it's also too, although I mentioned like that not to go to a realtor first, if you want to, or if you feel comfortable with someone reaching out to a realtor that you know, they can refer you to someone that they feel comfortable with, that they feel like they trust, that they will feel like, oh, well, they will give you good service. So maybe reaching out to a realtor too can also help you get in contact with a loan officer that can help you for what you're looking to do.
Yeah, it's like a symbiotic relationship, like with realtors and lenders. They're like connected, right? So if you even if you know a lender, if you know a realtor, find whoever it is that you know that you're close to. Ask them, hey, be like, yo, do you know any lenders? Do you know any realtors? Because we all work together. Like, we need each other in part of this whole real estate process. Cause a lot of people don't know the process, but the process is there's a lot of steps in it. It's very complicated. So when you have, especially like if you have a realtor and then a lender who they are partnered up together, kind of like these two, like they work together, right? So if you get like both of them, they're in constant contact with each other. They know everything that's going on. Very communicative. They're all talking about the same thing. They're on the same page, and that's what you want ultimately.
That is huge, bro. That is huge, because when you don't have a realtor and a lender who are communicating very well with each other, you're not going to be able to put yourself in solid position when it comes time to actually buy your house, to go house hunting. You're not going to put yourself in that position to be steady and be ready to make offers quick. Make offers that you need, that maybe the pre-approval has to change or something like that. Maybe you saw a different property and you need those numbers ran quick for a specific property that you want to put an offer on. Like those kinds of things, although they don't seem like they make a difference, they do make a difference. And it's literally just like you said, communication. Like that's what is key.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially in this market, like having communication is very important, because this market is very fast paced right now. Houses are going up and going under contract like within 2 to 3 days. Like and people are going to see new listings day of, like, they're making offers sight unseen. So having that realtor and loan officer or lender communication being in sync, and you visually being able to see it through emails, text messages, or phone calls definitely helps you a lot as a buyer. The other part of that is you got to think of it as a team when you're buying a home.
100%.
Like your realtor and your lender are supposed to be a team with you. They are working towards the same goal. They are not working against each other. And unfortunately, a lot of times tensions get high whenever you're buying a property, right? There's a lot of emotion involved in buying real estate, 100%. Especially residential real estate, right? So every now and then I'll see realtors who go against their lender, or lenders who go against their realtor. I mean, I can't say that that's never happened to me. You know what I mean? Like there's always those times, and you don't really want to have that as your situation. You'd really prefer for your realtor and lender to be not best buddies necessarily, but really like 100%. Good at communication, understanding of each other, and wanting to and willing to work together to get to this end goal of helping you get into a new home. So I think that those are some of the most important things.
And because that's like the hard situation when you're a realtor, right? And you have like a buyer come to you telling you that they have a lender that you don't know of, especially when they're not even like in our area. Like I've had people who have lenders that are in like Miami. It's like they could try they could try the best they can for Miami, but it's like this is the first time I'm ever working with him.
Yeah.
Right. I'd rather work with somebody who I've vetted out, someone who I've gone constantly over and over and over and done loans on, rather than just some new other person, if that makes sense. But that's kind of just the way that I would say to do things, because if not, it's like basically literally how you said, like, you want the A team, you want the Avengers to fight for you.
Yeah,
you don't want,
for real, for
you
real.
don't want like you don't want like DC to fight for you. No, DC cool, DC cool, DC cool.
Disrespectful.
They only come up right now.
They on the come, hey, that new Batman movie, I'm not gonna lie, that shit's crazy.
It was just really long, bro. That's the only
Shit
thing.
was long, but no, you want to have the the A team, and you want, it's like with my preferred lender, right? I know her strengths and her weaknesses, and likewise, she knows the same for me. Now, I've been in situations, like I said, who I've worked with somebody, and they give me, literally, it was a lender from like Miami or like Coral Gables or something like that, and bro would not answer his phone ever.
That's tough.
Ever, bro. And so on that deal, I remember we had a loan commitment period of 28 days, and we're closing in 30 days, something like that. So my buyer wanted to cancel the loan literally like 2 days before closing, right? And our only way out was to get a denial letter from the loan company, right? We told him we needed it that day. He gave it to us the next day.
You see, things like that make or break deals, and you lose money when things make or break deals. That really does happen a lot. I get calls at 9:00 on Fridays for things like that, and if you're not willing to help in that type of situation, you know what I mean? There's certain things that can wait until the next day. Don't get me wrong. As a lender, like, I know that I'm a very busy man. Like, if you call me at 9 p.m. or send me a text about something that I know can wait, I will text you the next morning because I'm already doing other stuff. But if it's serious, like, you best believe I'm going to get back on my computer and I'm going to help you out. Like, that's a difference right there that you need to make sure when you're buying a house that every member of your team is willing to do that. Realtor and lender, both.
And that's why, too, I think it's even important for you as a client or you as someone who's trying to buy a house to be transparent with your realtor and your lender.
Very.
Because when you are trying to, whatever you're trying to do when it comes to purchasing a house, it's best that the parties that are involved understand you. Because when they understand you, they're going to understand your needs and your wants and why it is that you actually want to buy this house. So if the buyer, in this case, wants something done, like, in this case, it seems like she communicated it to you, which was important, and then that way you could communicate it to a lender. You know what I mean? Because we're in the business of communication and trust, right? So we're literally just going back and forth with making sure that everyone is up to date, communicated with, and understands what's going on during the time of the home buying process. Yeah. So you being transparent is literally going to help you get into your house with less stress, even though I feel like more people tend to try and keep their cards close to them just because it's a financial transaction.
Mm-hmm. Now, I got to ask you both, because there is a little bit of a difference between a lender and a realtor in that way, right? With my experience, realtors tend to have a deeper personal relationship with their clients compared to a lender. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's because of the fact that lenders do work with more clients or if it's because of the fact that it's financials. Do you guys see that people sometimes hold their cards close to the chest and are unwilling to give you the information you need to help them with their home purchase? Or do you not see that very often in real estate?
Personally, I don't, but I think also it's more about the client themselves, how, if they feel about their financial situation, because it's also like some people don't like to share, that kind of, like, that's a part of their life that people want to keep close to them, which is okay. But in a transaction like this, when it's for something so big, like, you need to. And it's not like we're trying to do anything wrong with their information. It's like the information is necessary so that we can get done what it is that you're looking to get done. Yeah.
I think it just depends. Like how you said, it just depends. Because, like, through my experience, the connection I've had with them is like, I'm gonna do what's best for you, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a fiduciary. Like, I'm gonna do what's best for you. So, like, it's easy for me to get that trust from them. But sometimes it's like how you said, there'll be that issue from telling me everything, and they're like, "Oh, don't tell the lender this. Don't tell the lender this." I'm like, but I have to. Like, we have to all be on the same page, type thing. Because with that transaction, I remember there was a lot of things that was going crazy. So these people, they had money cash to buy the house, but they were doing a VA loan. But he quit his job in the middle of this whole thing.
That's real quick. If you're buying a house,
don't quit your job.
Don't quit your job.
Don't buy furniture.
Don't buy furniture. Don't go buy your TV. Don't go buy a car. Do that stuff. I'm not gonna say shit. Well, I just said it anyways. Do that stuff afterwards, okay? You can buy the house and then go buy all that stuff. You can quit your job and go find a new one. Please do not do it in the middle of the loan. And if you do, just know that you're not buying the house. Just straight up.
He did it in the middle of the loan, bro.
Yeah, no, man.
That's
That's tough.
And he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me, and then he didn't tell the lender until it was like kind of too late. But then the lender kind of did like a Hail Mary, and he had a bunch of like money in stocks and like a bunch of money and like saved up, so they were able to, I guess, kind of use that. But still, he didn't end up wanting the house, so we did all that work for nothing.
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but like I said, I guess it just depends on the person. But like that dude, he had full trust in me. Like he would like let me do whatever. It's just he just kept getting in his own way. So I guess like I said, it just depends on the client. But most of the time, the people who are, I guess, kind of like
Serious.
secretive about their stuff, they're the ones that are very like, oh, they're the ones that are not in the best situations. If that makes sense. The ones that tell you everything, those are the ones that are in a good situation.
Yeah.
Like this guy, he told me everything. He quit his job, but he still had the cash to pay for it if he wanted to. He didn't want it. So I guess it all just depends.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then there's something else that we were talking about earlier, that another reason that it's important to be transparent is like a good way for someone, for example, buying your first house, right? A lot of people might say, that payment is rough. Like I can't afford to be paying for a house every month. I can't afford a mortgage. Well, something that we have talked about before is house hacking, or basically purchasing your first property, your primary residence, actually living in there, but actually renting out the other rooms that are inside the house so that you can get help with the actual mortgage payment. So for example, if you buy a 3-bedroom house, you go and you purchase it, you live in the master bedroom, and then you rent out the other 2 bedrooms that are in there, and that can give you $600 to $800 depending on the place that you're staying in, and that can help you with that mortgage payment. So you're not having to fork up $1,600, $1,800, $2,000 a month for your mortgage, while you're only going to be paying maybe nothing at all, or just a couple $100 a month to actually live in that mortgage, not live in that home. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but house hacking is huge, especially like if you're, especially obviously if you're okay with it, but like just the fact that you're able to like just like a 3-2 or like a 4-2 live in a master, and let's say your mortgage is $1,600, right? And you rent out each of the rooms for $800, which is pretty normal actually. So you rent out each of the rooms for $800. That's your $1,600 mortgage for the house. So you're basically not paying nothing for the house that you bought. Obviously, you put a down payment, pay the closing costs, all that stuff. But mortgage wise, you're basically either even or you're $200 on utilities. Like that's not that's in my head. That's like a huge win.
Yeah, it is.
So it all just depends. But and the thing is, just like I said, you just have to be comfortable with, I guess, doing that. And then obviously, you could pay people to vet the roommates out, or you could vet them out yourselves. But it's becoming a lot more normal too.
It is becoming a lot more normal.
Way more normal because everything is just super not affordable right now.
Yeah,
and go ahead.
No, you got to think that as rates continue to go up, they're not going to continue to go up a ton, but they've gone up from where they were last year, right? I know a lot of people talked about they were really low, and then the values of homes have gone up significantly in the last 1.5 to 2 years, right? So as they continue to increase, you have to try to think of ways financially, if you're in a situation, all right, how do I get this house that I do want to live in and maybe have a family in the future? And right now I don't have that. How can I make do with what I have right now?
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with it, renting out those rooms will save you on, like you guys are talking about, your monthly payment. It lowers your liabilities, the amount of expenses that you have every month. So then you can continue to save while that house that you now find, like that you did buy, is going to continue to gain value, right?
Exactly.
You think of someone 2 years ago who bought instead of waiting to buy. Bro. They've gained so much value in their property. Now, that doesn't happen to everybody in every situation. Don't get me wrong. That's a golden situation that happened because of the pandemic and everything. But like if you buy earlier rather than later, your house price is likely not going to go down in 10 years. It's likely going it's more likely to increase, right? So having that available to you, you can buy it as a primary residence with a minimum down payment as a first-time home buyer, rent out 2 to 3 rooms, depending on how many rooms you have, and then you take your mortgage payment from $2,000 to, like you said, maybe $200 in utilities. Like, that's a huge win. That costs less than going to an apartment and getting an apartment.
Huge win, bro. And that's why. Go ahead.
Just real quick, and it's just like how you said. If you do that, now you have an asset, because once you sell it, it's like that's the thing about buying a house, right? The way I view it, it's like a forced savings account, because you have to pay it monthly, but it's not like that money's just disappears. When you're renting, that money disappears. It goes into somebody else's pockets. But when you buy a house, it's literally a forced savings account. You're forced to pay money monthly, right? But that money isn't just lost. That money, it goes to, depending if you have a low, or if you have the minimum down payment, then obviously you have to pay like mortgage insurance and all that stuff. But still, that most of that money is going towards equity, towards the house. So once you sell it, you get it all right back.
Yep.
Or more.
And this is why, guys, it's important to make sure that you are transparent with your realtor and your lender, like we were saying earlier. Because if you tell this to your realtor, right, they're going to help you get into a place that can rent well per room, right? For if you're in this instance of what we're talking about, they're going to help you and understand what areas are good and what areas people actually want to rent in and rent rooms out. So those kinds of things are important to tell. Even though you might feel like that's something that you want to just keep to yourself, that kind of vital information is valuable for someone else to know that's a part of your team, so they can help you achieve that goal that you have in mind.
Yeah. Something that I try to tell to every single one of my clients, that's very important when it comes to real estate in general, especially if you have those ideas in your head where you're like, maybe I want to rent out a room or something, is the numbers are what matters as well. Okay, so being open and transparent with your realtor and lender, allow them to, like you said, find you a property in a location that rents better or has other units that also do the same thing, so that you have people that are already looking in that area to do what you want to do. And two, your lender can then give you numbers of, look, this is what you qualify for, but if you do this, like, this is what your monthly payment could look like. This is what you could save like yearly. This is how much of a tax benefit it may be for you, because you can write that into your taxes. Like, all these things can be done. Realtors and loan officers or lenders are professionals in their business. They have to be. We have to be. We're licensed, and every day we're learning new things. So being open and transparent about that just allows a professional to try to help you achieve your goals. It's never about getting you close so that we can make money. It's never really about that. It's literally only how can we assist someone in achieving what they want to do. That's what we're all three in the business for. And what most, and the large majority of the people that are realtors and lenders, all are there to help everybody else.
So provide value, man. Like, that's really what we all want to do here. Provide some sort of value. And that's what we hope you get from this video. Some value.
So just a little bit. Some. You guys have anything else?
Nah, man, I think that's it, man. But I do want to say muchas gracias. Thank you so much for coming through and checking us out, man. Like we always say, please like, subscribe, share this video if you found any value. If you need to get your first house, be sure to hit us up. You already know the vibes.
Please.
We're going to help you out. We will have your best interests. And we're going to tell you things how it is. That's the good thing about us. We'll shoot the shit straight, and we'll get you where you need to go. Please be sure to tune in next week on Friday. Next video is dropping. Fusion out, man.
Fusion out.